We are not in the studios today. We are on location at the American Textile Recycling Service Center, and we are talking about recycling textiles. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to Wasting No Time on HTV. I'm your host, Sharon Moses. Today's show is all about textiles, textile recycling, that is. We are on location at the American Textile Recycling Service Center. Lisa Little, Community Relations Advocate for ATRS, has offered to give us a tour of the facility and share more information about our new partnership. Thank you, Lisa. We're so glad to have you on the show today.
Certainly. Thank you for being here.
Well, we're glad to be in your home. Thank you for making us feel at home today.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure.
Tell me about what is textile recycling? Start off with that.
Okay. Textile recycling is it's a method of reusing and repurposing used clothing.
Now, reusing and repurposing, I think the public can get reusing. Mm-hmm. What is repurposing new or used clothing? What is that exactly?
Absolutely. Repurposing would be, for instance, about 20% of what we get in is able to be reused as automobile stuffing or upholstery stuffing. 30% can be reused or made into textile wiping cloth. So when we say repurposing, it's that process or that method rather that we're speaking of.
So you're saying taking material and
Yes.
turning it into another product.
Absolutely.
So repurposing is kind of something, okay, that's
Yes,
good, that's
yes.
good. Now, how long have you all been in the Houston area?
We've been here in the Houston area for over 10 years, about 13 years now. And so we're nationwide. We've actually got 13 different states.
And see, I wanted to ask you about that because it says American Textile Recycling.
Yes.
So you are a nationally recognized business.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. We are the fastest growing textile recycler in the United States right now.
But you're headquartered where?
Right here in Houston.
Right here in the city of Houston.
Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful. Now, how did ATRS kind of get their start?
Yeah, it started with our owner, David Bagani. He was actually volunteering for his mother. She had a nonprofit charity where she distributed clothing. So he just took that a step further, and from that charitable service, ATRS was born.
So tell me about textile recycling. Why is it important to recycle textiles?
It's very important to recycle textiles. First and foremost, it creates jobs locally and abroad. It helps the environment. It positions us to support the mission of our local nonprofits. And another good reason is that it provides clothing in emerging nations for people that otherwise might not be able to afford them.
Okay. So, and that's what I want to know. Is it just clothing? So when we're saying textiles, we're talking about like the shirt off our back or the material that we have. Does it include any other type of material that maybe the public's not aware of?
Oh, yes. Textile, as far as recycling textiles here at ATRS, we accept all of your unwanted clothing, shoes, toys, other household items. That goes anywhere from your belts, purses, bags, last year's sporting gear. I mean, if it's a textile garment or an apparel item, it gets in here, we sort it, and it's reused, resold, or recycled. Nothing goes to waste.
Now, I like that. Are we looking at probably a zero waste element coming along the lines if we get rid of all of our used clothing through your facility? Mm-hmm. My question to you, though, is how easy is it to recycle textiles? How do you make it convenient for the customer or the citizen? What do you all do?
It's very, very easy. We have our recyclers all throughout Houston. The greater area, Houston, actually. You will find us at your grocery stores, your local grocery stores, corner gas stations, schools, all throughout Houston. So, and they're always available 24/7. So, how much more convenient can you get than that?
So, when you say, I'm thinking about those boxes. Are those boxes that you see when you're driving down the street and it says you can recycle your stuff here? Or That's what you all have?
That's what we have. That's what we have. These recycling bins are placed all throughout Houston, And so whenever you're ready to recycle, you just drive right on up to it and place your unwanted clothing, belt, shoes, whichever it is, and place it in those bins, and they will be recycled.
Now, unwanted clothing, belts, and shoes. Belts that can be leather belts. Is that still considered a textile material?
Yes. Well, that might not be considered a textile material, actually, but we will recycle that. And I mean, that's even buttons and zippers are stripped and reused. There's very little left over in the textile recycling process.
So that's considered the hardware, I think of it, when you look at the buttons and the zippers. So if I were to donate this jacket right here, you could still reuse it even though the zipper would be, and it wouldn't prevent it from being recycled.
No, it wouldn't.
Is there any material that the Textile Recycling Service Center does not accept? I mean, in regards to textiles, like, okay, we've got shoes, and I'm thinking shoes, canvas, leather, does it matter?
No, it doesn't. Even if you just have one shoe, whichever it is, there's always an opportunity for those textiles to experience a second life somewhere.
That's really interesting. So let's go back a little bit. If we recycle the product or we give it to your company to recycle, what happens to that material? Do you all immediately just take it and recycle it, or do you search through it for use, for other uses?
We do. Everything that comes through our warehouse is graded and sorted. Now, 45% of what we receive is able to be reused as is. There is then the others can be, as I mentioned earlier, can be made into upholstery or automotive stuffing, wiping rags and such.
So are we partners with you guys now? Like the City of Houston and ATRS, are we friends?
We're partners now. And we're so excited about that.
And how do we become partners with you guys?
Well, aside from working with each other on several different recycling events, thanks to Houston residents, right now ATRS is already collecting over 1 million pounds a month, or at least on average 1 million pounds a month. And so now we have just launched a brand new program with the City of Houston Solid Waste Management Department, where we are going to have recycling bins at 3 of the recycling centers. And there will be more to come every month. So, yes, so that's...
You see, I didn't know that. That's very interesting. We've got 6 depositories and recycling centers.
Yes.
So you all are getting ready to put 3 of your bins in our locations.
Yes.
That is absolutely wonderful. Let me ask you this. We currently have curbside recycling. Now, can our citizens recycle their textiles via the curbside program?
Not quite yet, but we are looking at being able to do that. We're looking at several different pilot programs right now.
Yeah.
So stay tuned on that. that should be forthcoming.
Well, that's great. That's the stuff we need to know. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to talking more with you today about that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. More on textiles when we return. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Wasting No Time. As you may have noticed, we are on location for this episode with today's topics all about textiles. We are embarking on expanding our recycling capabilities to yet another arena. Now, this is new for the Solid Waste Management Department, and Lisa Little is here to tell us more about it. Thanks, Lisa. So we've been talking about the textiles, and you told me about the shoes, and you said that leather doesn't matter, we can turn in one shoe. Where does this product go? When we turn in our recycling, are we sending this material to third world countries? Is it helping us locally? What's going on?
Sure. The clothes go where they're needed most. We want to make sure that everything that we receive is reused, resold, or recycled. Our local nonprofit partners, they get first pick of what they need. Thereafter, we have clothes that are sent to emerging nations, and also clothes that are sent to the growing secondhand clothing market as well.
So that's great. So the local people here, they get firsthand. Who are some of your local partners, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, absolutely. We are partnered with Houston Area Community Services. We're also partnered with the ARC of Greater Houston, and KDYMCA is another one as well.
So what do they do with the clothes? They take them and give them to needy families here locally?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Individuals that are looking for work and they might need a business suit or something like that. Returning back to school, children need help with clothes. So they're there to help individuals with their other services that they provide as far as food banks and whatnot. But as far as textiles and clothing is concerned, yes, we're absolutely there to help them, help folks get back.
And see, I wondered about that. If we were to give you, like, instead of going to Goodwill, are we taking from those companies by providing to your services, or no?
No, absolutely not. As long as you're not putting them in the landfills, you're on the right track. But if you want to make sure that the textiles that you recycle are benefiting and going back into your community, then we're definitely the place that you want to recycle with. And plus, we make it so convenient for you.
So tell me about that, the convenience of this. I know that I've seen them at different stores, and I'm not sure if they're all yours. How do we tell your bins apart from anybody else's?
Well, the way that you can tell our bin apart is we have that globe on all of our bins. And so when you see that globe there, you know that you're donating with ATRS.
Okay. And if a business is interested in hosting a bin, how would they do that?
They would contact us. They could contact us through our website, and there's also an 800 number that is on all of our recyclers. And so,
yeah, I'm glad you said that. I was doing some research, and I found out some information about a code of conduct that you have to, I guess, put these bins out. Do you all follow that code of conduct?
Oh, yes, we do. We follow that code of contact. That code of contact is actually from SMART, which is Secondary Materials and Recycled Textiles. Okay. And what they do is they monitor this industry as far as to make sure that we are in compliance with making sure that these recyclers are serviced every day, so there won't be a pile of trash or anything like that outside. Also that make sure that we maintain insurance on it. So this code helps separate the bad actors from the good actors in this industry.
Do you only put the bins in business areas? Can a residential community request a bin, or is that not?
A residential community can request a bin, like through their homeowners association if they would like to. Businesses are where we're usually at, but we're also at, we're going to be at the city now, the city's recycling centers, and different schools, churches.
Is there a charge to host the bin?
There's not a charge.
So the business doesn't have to pay to do it?
Nope.
Now, what about a benefit to the business? Is there one?
Absolutely, absolutely. I would say one of the main benefits to the business is that it creates a buyer pattern. You know, people that come there and they shop, they know that this is a one-stop shop. They can also handle recycling their textiles as well. And so that would be one of the main benefits. And then it also shows that they're trying to support the environment. And so a lot of folks like to know that as well. So.
And with that being said, if a business can host a bin, do you accept recycling from businesses, or is it just a residential issue? You know, just the citizens bringing it in. How does that? Is there quality control there, so to speak?
Well, we accept like all unwanted clothing, and that would include businesses as well. Old uniforms, bedding from hotels. So whichever that textile is, it can have a second life somewhere, and we want to help that happen.
That is an excellent concept, and I'm really glad that we're doing that. So tell me about how many textiles pounds do we recycle a year, a month, you know, over the big scope?
Right now, we're tracking about 41 million pounds of textiles a year, and that's nationwide. Here in Houston, thanks to the Houston residents, we're averaging, as I mentioned, about averaging about 1 million pounds a month.
Just in Houston alone?
Yeah, just in Houston alone. That
1 million pounds a month translates to the 1 million pounds being kept out of the landfill.
Kept out of the landfills.
That's amazing. Okay.
So that saves a lot of money. That saves a lot of money on waste transport and the cost of landfills itself.
What about material that is stained or soiled somehow? Is that still acceptable to you all?
It's still acceptable. We accept all of it.
If it's wet, does it matter?
Now that it does. It does. Yes, it does. Because then you know, if it's wet, it can get mildewed, and then it would definitely be hard for us to find a second home for it.
Okay, so we don't want to donate wet material to you as long as it's clean and dry, or maybe a stain or so it won't.
A stain or so, a tear, if it's out of season, doesn't matter.
That's amazing. Okay, great. So how long have you been with this company?
I've been with ATRS. Actually, this is my second round with ATRS. I worked here for about 8 years ago for some time, and then I returned, and I've been here for 2 years now.
Have you seen many changes in the industry since your return?
Yes, I have. I have. The changes have been tremendous. I was really surprised to see how the public has the education, I guess, rather. More people are aware and self-conscious about recycling, and more people are aware of recycling their clothing than ever before.
So tell me a few facts about maybe textiles that the citizens don't know.
Oh, there's some interesting facts. One of the most interesting facts that I find is that each Houston resident generates about 70 pounds of textile waste a year. Now,
Individually.
individually. Okay. And of that, only 15% is reused, resold, or recycled, and that's okay. But that still leaves a whopping 85% that lands in our landfills. So we've got to reduce those numbers.
So what are you all doing to get the word out to make the public aware of what's going on here and that they can recycle their textiles?
We have several different programs that we run and different campaigns. When Recyclers Day is coming up, we'll be participating in different events for that. We go out to different schools and share information there. We share it through our social media forums, also through you can check it out on our Facebook, but anytime we have an opportunity to speak and share this information, we grab it.
And the public seems to be really grasping to this idea.
Very receptive.
Is this a tax write-off by any chance? I'm just curious.
It is. Matter of fact, if anybody ever need a receipt, they can find it on our website. There's a link on there for them to get a tax write-off receipt.
That's wonderful. This is great information, and you said that the public is really receptive to it.
Very receptive.
That is a wonderful thing. I'm so glad to know that we're recycling more. We're going to go on the tour when we come back, right?
That's right.
That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Did you know the U.S. dollar is made up of 80% of recycled cotton? So that means you could be spending your old jeans. Textiles, don't throw it away. Recycle it. We'll be right back on the tour. We are in the warehouse where all the magic happens. So, Lisa, if you could tell me a little bit about what's going on over here, please.
That's right. Once our recyclables land here in our warehouse, they are sorted here to be reused and to be repurposed.
Now, this is interesting. I know I read somewhere in my research where I think you put a teddy bear or something in the bag for. Is that just for the third world countries? Who's that for?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's an interesting fact, as a matter of fact. What we do is when these items are bailed up to go to emerging countries, there's a stuffed animal or a toy. We put different little surprises in there so that when they open that up, they can find those surprises, little toys or stuffed animals and such.
So is this considered the sorting facility?
Yes,
kind of where they're sorting things out. Now, this really looks familiar to me because we think that it's a new concept, but haven't we been doing this all along?
We have been doing it all along. I mean, when you have given away your old shirt or outgrown something and let your little brother have it or give it to your cousin, we've been recycling.
So actually what we're doing it here on a larger scale.
Yes, we are. Yes,
but textile recycling is not a new concept.
It's not a new textile recycling is not a new concept. I mean, from the times when pilgrims arrived, clothes have been recycled and passed down to those that could use them.
So this is pretty interesting because this section is separate from the first section. We're in a different section. What's the difference between where we just came from and where we are now?
Here, what we have is textiles that have been gently worn, slightly used, might be a button or two missing. These textiles make their way to emerging nations, available for individuals that otherwise might not be able to afford clothing. So that's what we have in this section here.
So this probably helps and aid in job creation as well in those emerging countries, right?
Absolutely. It creates jobs there. It stimulates the economy there. It does.
And it also reuses its material and keeps it out of the landfill.
Yes, it
which
does.
Is the absolute goal.
That's the main goal right there, to divert these pounds from the landfills.
So now if we go to another section, this is a pretty big warehouse too, Lisa.
Yes, it is.
I wasn't aware that we had so many clothes in the city of Houston at one time.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. But it's better for it to be here than in the landfills. Don't you agree?
I would have to completely agree. Yes, yes. Oh, wow. There are the stuffed animals. And these are the things that we were talking about. It's not just the clothing off our backs. There are other types of textiles, correct?
That's right. That's right. We have clothing, shoes, toys, belts, and as you see there, those are clothing, shoes. I'm sorry, toys that we have over here.
Now, I would have never thought of toys as being textile type material. Why does ATRS accept that type of material?
Same reason that we accept all of what we accept, because it can experience a second life somewhere. That's the bottom line. We want these clothes, textiles, shoes, toys, whichever it is that comes through here, to be able to be reused somewhere.
And I have to ask, what's the deal with the wrapping paper?
Yeah, that is, looks like you'd be surprised when Christmas falls behind and people are donating wrapping paper, and I believe that this is probably for a program with one of the community centers.
That's wonderful. So even that doesn't wind up in the landfill.
No.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, so if a citizen is interested in more information, how do they find out more about your facility?
Check us out on our website. That's atrscorp.com, or they can give us a call. They can reach us at 1-866-900-9308, or follow us on our social media. Just type in ATRS Recycles.
That's great. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure meeting and working
My
with you today.
pleasure.
Well, that's it. Clean out your closets. Bring your recycling to ATRS. Don't throw it away. It's great material and it's reusable. For more information, follow us on Twitter at Houston Trash, call us at 311, or Facebook. You can never have too many friends, so like us at Houston Solid Waste. I'm Sharon Moses, and this is Wasting No Time on Location.